Tony?
Doctor's upstairs, sir. Wife's in the sitting room, Mrs. Mullen.
Got anything from her?
Still in shock.
Dr. Kaplan?
Morning.
Andrew Munro, Sun Hill. Suicide, you said, apparently.
Yes, well, first glance looked like an overdose. Sleeping pills.
But?
Well, after I called, I noticed the date on the label, and I doubt now there'd be enough tablets left to do any real damage. If he'd been taking them regularly, that is.
Had he been?
Can't tell you, I'm afraid. I'm only a deputising doctor. Got a call from the answering service local practice uses.
So you don't know what was wrong with him?
Looks like kidney problems. And there's a diabetes kit over here.
Natural causes, then?
Really can't say, sorry.
Right. Well, we'll have to see if his GP's willing to issue a certificate, then. Mrs. Mullen, no need to be alarmed. I just have to ask you a few questions, that's all, about your husband. Sorry we have to do this, but where someone dies suddenly and the circumstances aren't clear...
Aren't clear?
There was an empty bottle of sleeping pills by the bed. When did you find your husband?
8 to get him on.
And before that? When was the last time you saw him?
Midnight. I sleep across the landing.
And how was he then?
He went where? I mean, he had a stroke last year. Paralyzed. Because of his diabetes. Couldn't do nothing. All had to be done for him.
I understand. And last night?
He just went to sleep.
Sorry.
She killed him.
What?
Said he had this headache. Terrible headache. But the doctor, that's our doctor, Dr. Habil, couldn't find nothing wrong.
Sir.
Excuse me.
Sir, there's this young woman upstairs, Hazel Mullen, daughter, I guess. She's a bit upset. When I opened the door to her room, the first thing she said was, she killed him. When I asked her what she meant, she just clammed up.
You'll sort things out with the coroner's office.
Of course.
I'll just have a word with the wife. Mrs. Mullen, I've examined your husband. I'm afraid because I'm not his doctor, I can't say for certain
Hazel?
what death was.
I'm Andrew Munro, Sun Hill. We're here because of Mr. Mullen. Your father? May I come in? It's just routine, really, but we have to be clear in our minds about the circumstances surrounding what's happened here. And my colleague, PC Stamp, said you might be able to throw some light on that.
No.
He said you said she killed him. What did you mean?
Nothing.
Do you mean your mother killed your father?
I don't want to say nothing. Like, just forget it.
Is there anyone who can come and be with you for a while?
I have my daughter.
Doctor?
Well, that's okay then. I'll say goodbye.
Everything all right, Doctor? Nothing unusual?
How do you mean?
Well, if you're happy, I won't keep you.
Right then. Bye.
Not sure about this one. We need to get hold of the GP. See if you can get any more out of Hazel while I talk to her mum. I'll let Sun Hill know the score.
Right.
So what we're looking at, Gav, a spot on mercy killing?
Possibly. Or murder. Or suicide. Or assisted suicide. Or accidental death.
Or perhaps he just sneezed too hard. Oh, Munro did say he wasn't feeling too clever last night.
Mr. Monroe.
What do you want us to do, Gov?
Nothing. Just leave a space in your diaries in case uniform turn up with something.
So who looks after him exactly?
Me and my mum.
Must have been quite a strain. Pretty sick, wasn't he? I'm not sure I could take it.
Look, I told you. I don't want to say nothing. I don't want to talk to you. So just go away.
Your daughter said she killed him.
Hazel said that?
Mrs. Mullen, do you know how your husband died, Mrs. Mullen?
No. No. Oh, God.
Are you aware of the amount of the taxpayers' money you've been pouring down your snouts' throats for the last 3 months.
It's an investment, Gov.
Yeah, so when do we see a return? Andrew?
This sudden death's starting to look decidedly dodgy to me.
Oh?
Can't get a straight answer from either mother or daughter, and now they've clammed up. Mother just keeps saying he went to sleep.
She put him to sleep, more like.
You brought them in?
Downstairs.
GP?
Trying to get in touch, but isn't in surgery.
We talked to the coroner's officer?
Post-mortem's a distinct possibility, but we need the GP first.
Right. Well, looks like time we did some work, lads.
I can't just be sitting here, miss. Sorry. Got to get home, sort out the funeral.
It's all right, Mrs. Mullen. Everything's being looked after.
I've got nothing more to tell you people. The poor man's gone, and that's all there is to it. Can't he rest in peace? 31 years, me fella, and I can't even bury him.
Right, Hazel, I'll ask you once again. Do you know how your father died?
No.
Well, if you did and you're not saying, that could be a serious offence. And to be quite frank, the way you and your mother are behaving is, to my mind, more than a bit suspicious. You know what I'm saying? Do you think he took his own life? Hazel?
No.
Why not?
Because he was Catholic. He'd be looking at eternal damnation, wouldn't he?
He was devout then.
Well, he didn't go to church. He couldn't. But he believed.
And your mum? You?
No, not really.
You an only child, Hazel?
Not exactly. 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Younger, older?
All younger.
They still around?
One's in the States, one's in Bristol, one's in Acton, and one's at college in Liverpool.
And you still at home?
Someone had to.
Must be difficult. Most young women of your age went to...
Well, I'm not most young women, am I?
Even so, staying at home nursing a sick relative...
Well, what are you supposed to do? Stick him in a home somewhere and forget him?
Danny, any news on that GP, Harville?
No, sir. Not expected back till lunchtime now.
What happened last night, Hazel?
I don't know. I was out when she called the doctor.
Your mum? Didn't she tell you what the trouble was?
When I got in, they were talking. It went on for ages. I could hear them after I went to bed.
Didn't you want to know why the doctor was there?
My dad was often ill. Different things.
Didn't you look in on him?
Look, I'd had a drink, all right. A few drinks, if you must know. It was a mate's hen party. Well, I could have some fun too, can't I?
Of course.
It was bad enough before, but then...
After his stroke?
Yes. He couldn't talk proper or nothing. I couldn't understand what he was on about. All that crying and all. I mean, Mum, she's getting on a bit now, so she can't do, you know, all that she used to. So I had to get some sleep for the morning. I usually take him his cup of tea, see? Gives me Mum a lie-in.
So he could drink it himself then?
Yeah, his left arm was all right. About all that was, really.
And this morning, did you take him his tea?
No.
Because?
My Mum had said he was asleep.
Oh, she was already up.
Which was unusual.
Did you believe her when she said he was asleep?
Yeah, Yeah.
But she wouldn't let you into his room. Which is why, after you discovered he died, you thought she had something to do with it, yeah? Hazel?
She had no right. He was my dad.
Now, you're not under arrest, Mrs. Mullen. You can leave here at any time, and you can have free legal advice if you wish.
What for?
Just on your rights. But I have to caution you that you don't have to say anything unless you wish to do so, but what you say may be given in evidence. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, I know this is difficult, and I don't want to keep you any longer than is absolutely necessary. All we want is a clearer picture of the circumstances of your husband's death.
Where's my daughter?
She's okay, don't worry.
What you been talking to her about all this time?
She's been giving us a statement on the background, family situation. Strikes me as being very dutiful. You don't think so?
To say bad things about your mother, who brought you into the world?
All right. Now, all we want is for you to tell us what happened last night and this morning. All right?
Yes, sir.
So last night, your husband had a headache.
Yes, sir.
And Dr. Harville suggested aspirin.
Yes.
And did he take any?
2. Just after the doctor left, about 8. And then again just before 12.
So the pain hadn't gone away? But you decided not to get the doctor back?
Eddie wanted to sleep. Thought it might do the trick.
So what did you do then? You made him comfortable? Then you left him? What time was that?
Midnight.
What state was he in when you left him?
What do you mean?
Well, was he sitting up? Was he lying down? Was he asleep?
Lying down, but not asleep as far as I could see.
And could he get up and move around from that position?
Could turn himself over. Left arm was strong. Used to be a fit man. Strong.
And could he sit up?
Was difficult.
Could he get out of bed?
Not by himself.
So he was dependent on you for everything?
Yes.
And Hazel?
Oh, she helped, but...
But what?
Well, she let you know it, you know. Deep down, I think she hated it.
And you?
He was my husband. He stood by me, I stood by him. In them days when we got married, black and white, hatred. What orthodox back to Eddie? His princess, he used to call me.
Who normally woke him up in the morning?
Hazel.
This morning?
He'd had a bad night. Told her to let him sleep.
So you were up too?
Couldn't sleep.
Oh?
Thinking of him. See?
Yeah, okay, I'll let him know. All right, bye.
Excuse me.
Yes, madam?
Could I see Inspector Munro, please? It's important.
And you are?
Harville, Dr. Jane Harville.
Had you and your husband ever discussed suicide, Mrs. Mullen? Euthanasia?
What?
Mercy killing?
Yes.
Even though it's against the teachings of the church?
If you believe that sort of thing.
Did he? Do you?
You answer me one thing. If God's so good, why him do that to him, eh? Good man like him who never hurt no one in his whole life. What's God gonna do worse to him than he had here, eh? He had his punishment here on earth. He was in hell, day after day, sitting there, thinking of the things he could do no more. Couldn't even get to the toilet no more, poor man.
So he wanted to die?
He longed to die. Longed to. Every day wake up. Oh, Lord, no, not again. Lord, no.
But he couldn't?
No.
Did you kill your husband, Mrs. Mullen?
No.
Well, let me put it this way. Did you help him to die?
Had enough.
Who?
Eddie.
So you helped him to die?
Yes, sir. I did.
Dave? Dr. Harville.
Hello.
Oh.
Brian Garner, Medical Defence Union.
My solicitor.
I see.
I said, where's my cup of tea?
Shut up!
I've got a right to refreshments.
What we got here, Tush? Aiding and abetting suicide.
Well, why's she got a brief here?
Wants to make a statement, she said.
Sounds well iffy to me.
She could be involved. We still don't know exactly what happened last night yet.
Or maybe she's just covering her back.
How do you mean?
Well, if she wasn't involved in the aiding and abetting, she could still think she might have been negligent in some way. You should have got him to hospital or whatever.
Ready when you are, Gov.
Right, well, you've made a start, Andrew. How'd you like to see what the good doctor has to say for herself? And then we'll have another word with Mrs. Mullen.
So, Dr. Harville, what was it you wanted to make a statement about?
My client arrived at surgery this morning to be greeted with the news of the sudden death of one of her patients, Edward Mullen. Although she had actually been on call before surgery this morning, the answering service the practice uses for some reason sent a deputising doctor rather than bleeping her.
Dr. Kaplan?
Exactly, who informed Dr. Harville that the police had reason to believe the death might be suspicious in some way. Mr. Mullen's wife and daughter have been brought in for questioning, I believe. Well, anyway, Dr. Harville has come here to volunteer any information she has that may throw light on your inquiries and to clarify her role in the situation.
With a solicitor?
Way of the world, I'm afraid, Inspector. More and more people are suing their doctors these days for the slightest thing, so they've had to react.
I take it you're not prepared to issue a certificate, Dr. Harville?
It's a bit academic, isn't it? Aren't you doing your PM?
Well, that's up to the coroner. So tell me, did the slightest thing go wrong last night?
Not as far as I'm aware, no. Mrs. Mullen called me about 8 last night, said her husband had a very bad headache. I examined him thoroughly and came to the conclusion it was nothing serious, probably just tension. I told him to take some aspirin and try and get some sleep, but to call me if the pain persisted. Then I left.
You didn't speak to Mrs. Mullen at all, or Hazel?
Well, I did have a quick word with Mrs. Mullen, told her not to worry, you know. I didn't see Hazel.
And that was the last you knew of things until hearing this morning that Mr. Mullen was dead?
Yes.
Well, seems straight enough. I'll get someone to take your statement and we won't keep you any longer.
Oh, well, thank you.
Expecting the 3rd degree?
Well, I suppose...
Not our job questioning medical judgments, Doctor. Hard enough dealing with ordinary criminals.
Well?
Some people might think it's strange she's gone to such a lot of trouble to tell us precisely nothing. Except Hazel said Harville and her mum had a long chat last night, only she brushed it off just now as a quick word.
Can't see what all the fuss is about, to be honest. I mean, if he wanted to go and couldn't do it himself...
If he wanted to go.
Well, would you want to hang about in a condition like that? Not me, mate.
Well, that's not the point, is it, eh? If you're going to let your average punter help his loved one over the edge, well, that's the thin end of the wedge, isn't it, eh? You're going to get grannies up and down the country being told, look, it's a lot better, really, if you just lay down and let your doctor give you a shot of something soothing.
Danny?
Yeah?
Tosh and I are going to do a full interview with Mrs. Mullen. You take Dr. Harville's statement, stall her, and then bring it up here.
Right.
What happened last night?
Wanted to be free. Us all to be free. Hazel, that's no life. Should be married with children.
Just tell us what happened, please, Miss Mullen.
Nothing to tell. Just give him the injection and the rest of the sleeping pills so he couldn't feel nothing. Then a kiss and a hug. A long, long, loving hug till he was asleep. Then close the door.
An injection of what?
His insulin.
But I thought he was diabetic. Well, doesn't he need insulin?
But not too much.
You say you gave him the injection. Did you do it yourself?
Always give him his injection.
Where?
His arm.
Which arm?
Left, sir.
And he didn't help in any way?
No, couldn't.
How did you know how much to give him to end his life?
Doctor told me.
Dr. Harville?
That's fine.
If you could just sign the bottom of each page.
Then I can go.
It should be okay. I've just got to check with the D.C.I.
According to Mrs. Mullen, Harville gave a chapter and verse on how to ease her husband's passing. Even suggested he dictate a letter absolving anyone of any blame.
Oh, nothing about that in her statement.
It's funny, that, isn't it? Look, this means nothing in law, Danny, but try and find that letter. Mrs. Mullen said it's in a dressing table. Oh, and technically, we're talking murder now, Danny. She didn't aid and abet a suicide, she actually killed him.
Do you want a cup of tea, love? Mrs. Mullen?
There's just a couple of things in your statement I'd like to ask you about, Doctor, if that's okay. You don't have to say anything unless you wish to do so, but anything you do say may be given in evidence, okay?
Evidence?
Is this strictly necessary, Chief Inspector?
Yes, I think it is. So first, Mr. Mullen was a diabetic, yeah? So what, in your medical opinion, would be the effect on him of an overdose of insulin?
You don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
It's a pretty straightforward medical question, I'd have thought. I can always ask another doctor. I can ask the force medical...
Hyperglycemia.
So what's that?
Very low blood sugar level.
And that would kill him?
Depends how quickly it was corrected.
And if it wasn't?
Yes.
Are you saying that's how Mr. Mullen died?
Second in your statement, you say you had a few words with Mrs. Mullen after you'd examined her husband and then left. Now, was that conversation 2 minutes long and 5 minutes or what?
I strongly advise you, Dr. Harville, not to say anything more unless D.C.I. Meadows explains what he's driving at.
Dr. Harville?
I rather not answer any more questions at this point, if you don't mind.
All right, I'll tell you what I'm driving at. Mrs. Mullen has admitted injecting her husband with an overdose of insulin. She says that after examining him, you had a long conversation with her, which Hazel also mentioned, during which you advised her on the amount to inject, how to give him sleeping tablets so he wouldn't feel anything, and arranged to visit her early this morning after she called you to write the death certificate, natural causes.
Do you have any evidence to back up this accusation, Chief Inspector, or is it all merely hearsay?
Only the mistake with the answering service blew it, which is why you came scurrying down here with him, to put your version of events on record in case the post-mortem showed up any irregularities, as you think it might. Isn't that right, Doctor?
You don't have to say anything. I should remind you, Chief Inspector, that Dr. Harville came here voluntarily to help with your inquiries, so unless you can produce some evidence to back up this most serious allegation, I think this discussion has come to an end, don't you?
Do you want to say anything, Doctor? Right, well, if you could wait here, please.
My client is perfectly free to leave, Chief Inspector, as you well know.
Well, if she does, she'll be under arrest.
On what grounds?
Conspiracy to murder.
Is it right Mrs. Mullen's looking at murder now, sir?
It's a possibility, yes.
Well, putting her through the court isn't going to do much good, is it? I mean, it sounds like she had the best of motives and everything.
It's the law, Matt.
Been punished enough, I'd have thought.
It was where she said it was.
Well, it proves zilch. We don't know if he dictated it in pain, under duress, or compos mentis, or even if that scrawls his signature.
Conspiracy to murder, then?
I don't know. How do you read Mrs. Mullen?
I believe her. Difficult situation. But I don't think we've got enough evidence to do Harville, though.
No. Well, I don't often say this, but it's at times like this I thank God for the CPS.
Aha!
You're free to go.
What did I say?
But the case papers are being forwarded to the Crown Prosecution Service.
Well, in view of your obvious lack of evidence against Dr. Harville, I hardly think we'll be holding our breath.
So what's going to happen to her?
It depends on the Crown Prosecution Service, if they decide to prosecute, and for what. If she's found guilty of aiding and abetting a suicide, she could get anything up to 14 years. But that's a rare prosecution. Murder, though, if she's found guilty in a case like this, hard to say. Could be anything from a suspended sentence to life.
I never meant her to get into trouble.
But we want you to return in a month to hear the decision of the CPS. Do you understand? Okay.
All right, then.
Yes, thank you.
You never let me say goodbye.